We are discussing conditional sentences, and I'm now trying to describe what conditional tense is all about. And I'm saying that conditional tenses are used to speculate, to say without certainty. You're speculating, to guess. So to speculate about what could happen, what might have happened, or what we wish would happen. What could happen, what might have happened, and what we wish would happen. What we wish would happen. Now, most if says the conditional tense if in English. Let me mute. Some people are making noisy here. Honorina has disappeared. Honorina, why have you decided to turn on your camera? These people who don't want to turn on their cameras are going to be my enemies. Serious enemies. Because they are spoiling my mood.
Sure.
Yeah, because you are saying you are learning up to 5.
Stop my video for a moment.
I've said. Veran, what are you saying?
I want to start something when my video is off, then I will be back.
What is it that you want to do?
In the count of 10.
10, 9, 9, 8, 7.
You're too fast.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
You breathe 3.
We are in a class, so stop behaving as if you are in a you are in a what? A park. Let's continue. So most conditional tenses, we've said sentences that use most conditional forms of if, okay? And this usage is referred to as the unreal past because we use a past tense, but we are not actually referring to something that has happened in the past, okay? Now, there are 5 main ways of constructing conditional sentences in English. And you find that in all the cases, these sentences are made up of if clause and the main clause. The if clause and the main clause. The if clause and the main clause. Now, the if clause is the one that carries the condition. So it may also be called the conditional clause, okay? Now, in many negative conditional sentences, there is the equivalent sentence construction using unless instead of if, okay? So I'm using unless instead. Let me just admit a few here first. Using unless instead of if in negative, so that someone can say, I will not come. So you see now that is negative. So in negative sentences, we use the equivalent of if, which is unless, to construct the condition. So I will not listen to you unless you are I will not listen to you unless you are loud or unless you are whatever. So I am saying that in negative sentences, there is an equivalent sentence construction where we use unless instead of the if in the conditional, in the condition. However, now, let us now look at the conditional sentences. Number 1, we have the zero conditional. The first we deal with is the zero conditional. So write the zero conditional sentence. The zero conditional. The zero conditional. Zero. Zero. Nada. Zero conditional. The zero conditional. Now, the zero conditional is used when the time being referred to is now or always, and the situation is real and possible. We use the zero condition when the time we are referring to is now or always, and the situation we are referring to is real and possible. In other words, the zero conditional is used mainly with facts, okay? Mainly with facts.
Pardon.
I am saying that the zero conditional is used when the time we are referring to in the tense is now or always. The time is now or always. Now, for example, if I said, listen, for example, if I said, if I use the word like, if you heat rice, if you heat ice, it melts. If you heat ice, it melts. The time I'm talking about is always, isn't it? Always. In other words, if you eat ice, it always melts. It is a fact. It's a factual event. Okay? So we use the zero conditional when the time we are referring to is now or always, and the situation is real and possible. The situation is real and possible. So the events covered in the zero conditional more often than not are factual. They are real events. They are real events. So I hope up to that point we are clear. Now, the zero conditional is always used to refer to general truths. It is always used to refer to general truths. For example, in the sentence I've given, if you heat ice, it melts. It's a general truth. It will always melt when you heat it. So it is if you heat ice, so heating the ice is condition. It is the condition to the melting. But so long as the condition is fulfilled, the result will always be the same. So that when you're talking about the zero conditional, we are saying if this happens, then this will always happen. If this happens, then this happens. So it is always used to refer to general truths. Now the tense in both parts of the sentence is simple present. The tense in both parts is in simple present. Simple present. Yes. Simple present. Now, but one thing I want to make clear is that the sentence in the zero conditional, the word if can be replaced with when without changing the meaning of that sentence. We can replace if with when without changing the meaning of that sentence. For example, if you heat ice, it melts. When you heat ice, it melts. The meaning of the sentence remains the same. So in the zero conditional, you can replace if with when without changing the meaning of the sentence, without changing the meaning of the sentence, without changing the meaning of the sentence. So let us look at the general structure. So I want you to have a sort of a table with two columns. On one side, write if clause. On the other side, write. On one side, write the if clause. On the other side, write the main clause. One side, write if clause. The other side, main clause. If is the conditional clause. The conditional clause. And then the other side, write the main clause. Then you break them into two. Just two columns. I want to give just a few sentences. So on one side, we have the if clause. On the other side, we have the main clause. Now, in the if clause, under the if clause, write if plus simple present. If plus simple present tense. If plus simple present tense. And then on the main clause, write.
Pardon.
Yes? On the if clause, just under the if clause, write if plus simple present tense. In other words, we start with the word if, and then the simple present tense will follow. And then on the main clause, just write simple present tense. So whatever verb we are going to use on that side will be simple present. We said both sides in the zero clause have simple present. Both sides are simple present tenses. simple present tenses, both sides. So let me give an example. In the if clause, we can have if this thing happens, like for example, write that. If this thing happens, we have if happens, which is simple present tense, right? So if this thing happens, then on the main clause we say that thing happens. If this thing happens, then on the main you say that thing happens. For example, under it we have if you heat rice, if you heat ice, then on the other side you say it melts. If you heat rice, it melts. Under if this thing happens, that thing happens. If you heat ice, it melts. Then you can also say that another example would be if it rains, the grass gets wet. If it rains, the grass gets wet. If it rains, the grass gets. So maybe from your end, you can give me 1 or 2 sentences that belong to the zero condition, the zero conditional. A sentence. The general rule is if this thing happens, that thing happens. We'll try.
If I have enough money, I will buy a car.
Now you see you have used will. That is not simple present tense. Will is not simple present. Another person? Look at my example. If you heat rice, it melts. If you heat ice, it melts. If grass gets wet. If people die, they are buried. Okay? That is zero condition. Both sides are in the simple. So there's no will. Yes, Brittany? Don't look miserable. Remove your hand from your chin, Brittany. Yes?
If people they are taken to hospital.
If people get sick, they are taken to hospital. That is correct. If people get sick, they are taken to hospital. If you make noise, you are punished. If you make noise in class, you are punished.
If you buy a television, the children are happy.
The children are happy. You succeed. If you are disciplined, you succeed. If you are disciplined, if you work hard, you do well. If you work hard, you do well. If you work hard, you do well. So there are some sentences in the zero condition. There are some sentences in the zero condition. Now, from there now, children, allow me to move. Allow me to move to the first condition. Let us now go to the first condition. The first condition. First condition. From the zero conditional, we are now moving to the first condition. First condition. Now, the first condition is used to refer to the present or future. Is used to refer to the present or future where the situation is real. It is used to refer to the present or future where the situation is real. Brittany. Brittany.
Yes.
Why are you absent-minded?
I'm not absent-minded. It's my network which is giving me these problems. I'm trying to fix it.
Now, so it is used with the future, the present or the future, where the situation is real. It refers to a possible condition and its probable result. It refers to a possible condition and its probable result. It refers to a possible condition and its probable result. Condition one, the first condition, refers to a probable condition and a possible condition and its probable result. Possible condition and its probable result. Okay, up to that point? In these sentences, if clause is in the simple present. The if clause is in the simple present. The if is in the simple present. Whereas the main clause is in the simple future. Whereas the main clause is in the simple future. Present, Michelle. Michelle, I want to concentrate, Michelle. Michelle,
Yes.
concentrate. Michelle, concentrate. So I am saying
Michelle who?
that Michelle, I want you to concentrate. All the Michelles need to concentrate, by the way. I've said, let me repeat for the sake of those who've just joined us, that is Abdi and Wawera. Wawera, you have joined us and you've decided to hide among those who don't want to turn on their videos. So I have said that the first condition is used to refer to the present or future where the situation is real. And that this condition refers to possible conditions. It refers to possible conditions and the probable result, the likely result. It refers to the possible condition and the likely result. Possible condition and the likely result. Now, in this sentence, we said that the if clause is in the simple present, whereas the main clause is in the simple future tense. The if clause, simple present, the main clause, simple future tense. Now, let us do exactly what we did in the previous one so that I give some examples here. So you can write the if clause, and you write the main clause. The if clause, the main clause. The if clause, the main clause. Felicity. Felicity.
Yes.
She disappeared again. When I talk to people, they disappear. Is that magic? Felicity is talking in the background. I can't see her now. She turned off her camera. Felicity, turn on your camera. Come on. All right. So if clause, main clause. Simple present, simple future. That's what we did up there. If clause, main clause, under them, simple present. The other side, simple future. Simple future. Simple present, simple future. Simple present, simple future. Then from there, it this can be summarized by saying, if these things happen, if this thing happens, that thing will happen. So one side you say, if this thing happens, the other side you say, that thing will happen. I don't know if that is understood. If this thing happens, that thing will happen. So this is what one of you gave me as an example in the previous conditional. If this thing happens, that thing will happen. Now, I hope this is clear. Let me go a little further and give another example. So you can say, if you don't hurry, you will miss the train or the bus. If you don't hurry, you will miss the train. If this thing happens, that thing will happen. If you don't hurry, you will miss the train. If you sing, I will dance. If you sing, I will dance. If the dog dies, it will be buried. If the dog dies, it will be buried. If this thing, that thing will happen. The first one was, if this thing happens, this thing happens. No, that means it's factual. It's a factual kind of a condition. This always results in this. If this thing happens, this one happens. This one is, if this thing happens, that thing will happen. That thing will happen. And those examples, I guess, should suffice. So probably you can give me examples of your own. Let me start with Masi Jaoko. Example.
Yes.
Your example?
If you study, you will pass.
If you study, you will pass. Correct? Michelle Karaoke. Michelle Karaoke.
If you disobey, you will be punished.
If you disobey, you will be punished. Chantel? Everyone prepare your sentence. I'm coming. Chantel?
If you buy the rice, you will eat.
Come again?
If you buy the rice, we will eat.
Huh? If you boil the rice, you will eat.
Yes.
Try another one. When you can even say,
You cook.
drink poison, you will die. If you drink poison, you will die. When if you concentrate, you will understand. When if you don't eat, you will starve. When that's okay. I hope now you have understood.
That you want to get sick.
Michelle, you are
If you stay home, you will not get COVID.
The drink that you want to get sick.
So I have
yes, Michelle.
It doesn't even meet the requirement of a medical, because that's a medical, it's a medical.
If you stay home,
There's no way
not get COVID-19.
You're back. Mitch. Mitch is listening to politics while we are. And
If you drink that water, you'll get sick. Add on.
Mitch. Good. That's better. So someone was speaking. Who was that? Yes, Michelle.
Yes. If you stay home, you will not get COVID-19.
If you stay home, you will not get coronavirus. Yes, coronavirus. Another one. Example.
If you drink that water, you get sick.
Abdi.
Yes.
Your example?
If you don't play football, you'll never be a good player.
Because you like football. If you don't play football,
Yeah.
you'll never be a good player. I think those examples are enough. So that is understood. If this thing happens, this thing will happen. If this thing happens, that thing will happen. That is the first condition. First condition. Simple present, simple past. First condition. Now, let us go to the second condition. The second conditional. The second conditional. Second conditional. Second conditional. Now, the second conditional is used to refer to a time that is now or any time. A time that is now or any time, and a situation that is unreal. The time you are referring to here is now or any time, and the situation you are referring to is unreal. It is not real. A situation that is not real. A situation that is unreal. And you must remember that these sentences are not based on fact. That is why we are saying it is unreal. It is not based on fact. These sentences are not based on facts. Sentences in this condition are not based on facts. Now, it is used to refer to a hypothetical condition and its probable result. A hypothetical, something you just imagine, an imagined condition, okay? It is used to refer to a hypothetical condition, an imagined condition, and its probable result. It is hypothetical. Hypothetical. No, something hypothetical is something that is not real. It is something imagined. Okay? So it is used to refer to a hypothetical condition and its probable result. Now, in this condition, the if clause is in the simple past and the main clause is in the present conditional. The if clause is in the simple past, the main clause is in the present conditional tense. The if clause is in the simple past. The if clause is in the simple past. The main clause is in the present conditional tense. Okay? And so we can write again, if clause, main clause, so that we give examples. If, main, so that we give examples. Now, the time is 1 minute and 20 seconds, which may not be enough to do what we want to do. So we probably, let us rejoin as soon as it is over. As soon as the time elapses, we will rejoin. Now, so we are talking about if clause, main clause. One side is in which tense? One side is in which tense? If plus simple past. One side is if plus simple past. The other side is present conditional. The other side is present conditional. There was a recording, why is it not? It's in progress. Oh, okay. So once if condition, if